Welcome to the JoomlaXTC Samurai Template Tutorial Part 2. In this video we're going to go over the administration side of Joomla and the Samurai template. So let's jump right in. So we're going to go over here to the administrator, and as you see right now we're going to be using Joomla 2.5. And first let's go ahead and check out the main menu. And if you're using Joomla, you should be completely aware of how a menu works. You create a new menu item, you set it to a component or to a external URL or any of the options that you get when you create a new item. And you would set your parent ones for your top menu as parents, and then if you want drop downs, you would assign the drop down to the parent item. So you see in the home, we are calling the featured articles here, but we do have the override inside of the template to say don't show anything on the home page as far as the featured articles go. So next we have our about section. This is just a single Joomla article. As you see, all these here under the about are single articles. Then we have our menu, which is the category blog. As we showed you in the first video tutorial, the menu is actually just a category blog of Joomla showing these as Joomla articles, and we don't have any read more here or any link. And let me go ahead and let's show you how that's done. So we go here to the menu item, and it's going to be the category, the fresh sushi menu, and then we have our article options here, and we're showing the title, we're not showing the category or anything, and then down here the read more, hide. So that's simply how that's done, and you can go over here and see that the photo gallery is set to a single article. And then you have your blog, your news. So let's look at the blog. The blog, as I said, was a category blog, and then we have our layout options. We set it for one leading article, two intro articles, and then two columns, which achieves this look. And then for the news section, we set this up as a category, and the layout options, we're going to have 0 leading articles, so that means there's no full width article. There's only the columns, which are 2 columns and 4 intro articles. And then we have our portfolio left, which is our left featured, and let's refresh that. So we go over here to portfolio left, and this is actually using what is called a page class to achieve this layout. So if you wanted to achieve this layout, we'd go over here to our blog layout options. Your leading articles are 3, that's the top. Then you've got 4 intro articles, and you set your columns as 4. And down here in your page display options, you're going to use the page class left large, and that will actually give you this look here. And that goes for the right. That's just going to be right large. Page display options, right large. And for the centered one, center large. And that's how to achieve those layouts. So let's go over here to our article manager really quickly, and let's go ahead and look at our sushi menu articles. So you see, we just created a new article for each one of the menu items here of the sushi, and if we open up the black and white role, you'll see here that we just have our intro text, and then over here in the images and links, we set the intro image for our role. And that's basically how you would set up your menu items. So now let's move over here to the module manager, and let's check out the YouTube background to start off. You're going to want to put that in your debug position, and then here's the back end of the module, and you're just going to go ahead and put in your video URL right here, and then you can set it for mute, yes or no. You can go ahead and set the an overlay image on it if you want. But basically the way that we have it configured is we don't have it looping, we don't have it shuffling, we only have one video in here, and it couldn't be simpler than that. And we are only showing it on the home page. So next, let's go over here and let's select position user 1. Actually, let's do inset first. Sorry about that. Let's jump over here to the inset. This is what is going to be here on your home page in this area right here. So in inset, we just have our JoomlaXTC HTML module. As you see, we just set it up with a module class suffix of notepad, and we went ahead and we just created a couple divs here. We've got our div align center that centers it. We gave it a div class slide main, then we're calling our image, then our h1 class for sushi, bistro, and then the closing divs. So if you wanted to switch out the image there of the logo right there, you would simply just go in here and upload your images to your Joomla images folder, and then you would call it from right here. Just change the image name, or you can overwrite this one. And if you want to change the word sushi bistro, you can just change it right here. And again, we put this only on the home page. So now let's move on to user 1. User 1, we have our HTML module, and this is where we're going to go ahead and create this area right here. So we're using this div data scroll reset center class embellishment. This div data scroll reveal, that basically just goes ahead and fades the text in, and anything that you would put with a data scroll is going to give you that effect. You can actually look this up and get a lot more effects for it. It's actually using a JavaScript library, and that JavaScript library is called Scroll Reveal JS. And here's the website, and you can go ahead and fork it on GitHub. And here's the installation's already done in our template. So basically you can just use these keywords here. You can div data scroll, enter from the top, move 24 pix. Just go ahead and look over this, and you can set a lot of really cool CSS3 animations for your stuff very easily with just some simple markup. You know, you don't really have to put in all the CSS for the mods, the WebKit, and everything. You could just basically use this simple stuff like enter top and move 50 pix. So this is a very nice JavaScript to implement on scroll animations. So let's get back here to the template. So here we've got that wrapping this, and then we're going to go ahead and call in our logo again. Here's our H1 voted best in the Bay, and here's a P class with our intro text. So you'd simply want to change this area here. You'd go into the module in user 1, the user 1 slide, and you could edit that. Next, we've got mobile user 1, and what this actually is it is a image of the sushi here that we flip out at mobile level, because once you get down to the mobile level, the frames don't resize that well, and you really don't want to be calling all those frames into mobile device, because it's going to take a long time to download. So basically we just go ahead and hide that, and we switch it out for a static image once we get down to the mobile level. So what we're doing there is we're giving this the module class mobile show, and then we're just calling the static image. So let's go over and look at the video scrubber module now. Video scrubber module is completely simple. Basically you just upload your folder with your frames in it to your Joomla images folder, and then you select what image, what folder it is right here, and that pulls the images right in. You put your width and your height, and you're done. This overlay HTML is if you wanted to actually put something on top of the image, like some text or something, but that really couldn't get any simpler than that. So let's go ahead and get out of here. And what that does is that's actually animating this area right there. So now let's move into the news pros. Let's go down here to user 13 and check out our news pro in user 13. So we've got that set to the front page, and we're actually pulling in specific articles here. So if you just want to pull in a single article and you want it to go from a category and you want to pull one specific article, you just put the article ID there. And I'll go over how to find the article ID in just a second. So we've got our rows and our columns 1. And we're calling the template Samurai Articles Left. So we have this layout template in here that has the icon, it has the title, and it has the intro text from a Joomla content article. Now, if you want to edit this, here's a simple way to do it. You can go ahead and watch our tutorials for the Deluxe News Pro and how to edit the markup using Dreamweaver and an FTP or a text editor program to actually edit it. But if you don't want to go through the trouble of downloading the template and then opening it up and doing it, we have a great way to do it here. You would just go ahead and here, let's just select a different one, and then let's go back and select Samurai Articles Left and hit load. Loads the markup right in here for you to change it. So here we have our left articles, we have our intro image we're calling, then we have our title, then we have our intro text. And now it's basically template is none, so it's pulling it right from here. The additional CSS is here in the advanced options. Here's the element style, so if you want to change the CSS, right there. Now here's another important part. Your module settings should be set up as the alternative layout should be float, and then you want to have the module class suffix no wrap mod blank constrain mod right here. And let's go ahead and close that so we don't save it. And so then we go down here to the user 19. This is News Pro user 19. And this is the same exact thing. We're calling a specific article, but on this one we use the articles right. So we go from left to right, left to right, left to right. And now let's go down here to the next area. So after we get through all this, this is basically a custom HTML module here. And so let's go ahead and go to bottom 1, bottom article, custom HTML module. There's the symbol, there's the H1, there's the text, and there we're calling our image of rice with a notepad suffix. Okay, now let's go to the bottom 7 module. And this is our contact wall. And here for our contact wall, as you see, we've got the main area here we're calling the logo in, then our copyright text, and then here we're actually calling in we have the Samurai Sushi, and then here we've got the address, the state, the phone, telephone, and more. So this is basically set up just like our Deluxe News Pro. So you're going to go over here, and on this one we want to select no wrap and bootstrap for the layout, and here's the dependent CSS. And now for the footer and the legals, we have our footer here. This is a disclaimer footer. This is an HTML module, so we just have the text in there with mod blank. Done. And now for the legals, we're using our socializer wall. And all you need to do here is just open this up, and you just put in your links in here, and you're good to go. So let's move on now to the actual template manager. So we're going to go ahead and select the Samurai template. Let's go over the global settings real quick. Global settings, we're using the default layout. We've got mobile device detection off. The mobile device detection, it changes the template out for the mobile template when it gets to the device level. You want to have that off unless you really want to do a special layout for the mobile. The template is responsive and it adapts perfectly to all screen sizes, so you really don't need this option. That's just an option if you really want to do some custom layout and use an alternative mobile template. So we generally leave that off. The layout settings, default, that's what we're using, not mobile. So your grid style is just default. Template style, you can select the pre-designed style 1 through 4 to show, and CSS3 effects and typography, that all remains the same. Then you have your grid settings, and this is the main wrapper width, and that's actually going to be, as you see here, the wrapper width. Everything right here is the main wrapper, and then this is the outside of the wrap. Responsive features are on. If you don't want the template to be responsive, you can just simply turn it off there. This is the header. You can make the header sticky or turn it off so it's not fixed. In the demo here we have it sticky so everything goes underneath it. Makes it for easy navigation, but if you actually wanted to scroll with the website, you would just turn that off. And here we have our Suckerfish menu. You can select from Suckerfish to Dualfish. If you want to switch out the menu module for someone else's menu, you would select none. That way it doesn't get any of our styling and won't conflict. And this is the menu drop-down position, and that basically positions this drop-down. So if you increase the header or decrease the header size, you're going to want to change that right here. And this is the main menu mobile width. This is the width in pixels that we switch out the main menu for the mobile menu when we go responsive. Next we have our region configuration. As you see, we've got 1 through 10 here. So if you wanted to exclude some regions and lighten up the site, you would just go ahead and pull these out. But remember, you need to always have at least number 3 in there. This is the separator between the regions, and then we have basically our region padding and fluid or fixed width. You can go fluid width or the fixed width. Fluid goes all the way out, and fixed is affixed to this main wrapper width. And see, on region 1 here we have a padding top and bottom of 280, region 2 is 100, region 3, which is our component, we have 50 all around, 50 left and right, top and bottom, and so on. And since we are using a bootstrap 12-column grid, your left and right modules need to be assigned to a column span. So you've got 1 to 12 columns. So as you see here, this is 3 columns for the left and right. As an example, you have your blog here. That's 3. So if we wanted to go ahead and set that for 4, go ahead and save that. And let's refresh the page. Did I just do left and not right? Okay, let's see. Yep, right. Right, that's set for 4. Now let's refresh. As you see, there you go. That's a 4 column. So if you want it to be wider or smaller, you just go ahead and set it there based on the columns and the spans. And next is the modules here, and we were discussing the showing and hiding of a certain module, say the video scrubber here. So we have the video scrub set for mobile hide, so it's going to hide at mobile level. How do we know what level that is? This is the suffix here. So you would mobile show, it shows the module at 800 pixels. Hide, it'll hide the module at 800 pixels. So let's move into the style settings real briefly here, and we've got our style 1. And here you've got your front page background color, your background image, your body subpages. These are your subpage background color, background image, and your mobile. Here's the color scheme. Like I was telling you in the first video, it's very easy to change these colors that we have here. Let's go here to style 1 and give you a quick example. So here in the Superior Sushi, that's a tan color. As you see, that's base color 1. So I can easily go here and with my color picker, I can go ahead and make that a light blue. And let's go ahead and save. And refresh. And voila, light blue. The menu is basically set up the same way here in the style settings. If I want to change the menu area or the header's black, I can change that here. Here's where you change your website logo. Then you've got your website logo image here for the mobile. And if you want to swap it out, you would do it right here and say, I want to swap it out at 900 pixels. So if you want to have a different logo for mobile, you can do it there. The menu, here's your hover color for your menu. Here's the drop-down background color, the hover color. And then you go into your regions. And for your regions, you can have a background color, you can have a background image, and then you have your background color for your inner area. The wrap is the outer, and the inner is basically that 1280 that we were talking about. And as you see here, we've got the background here, wrap background, and then we have our gray fade left. And what we're achieving with that is we're achieving this as a background, and this over here, this pattern in the background, that's the inner background. So this is the wrap and this is the inner. The other nice thing about our template manager here is for mobile level, you can either swap out the image, so you can have a smaller size image because it's only going to be viewed on a device, so you can actually change the size of the image, or you can actually switch it out for a totally different image. You can either swap it, you can say I want to swap it out, or say yes, I do want to have the background images at the mobile level, or you can just say no and it won't even call the images. If you want to swap them out, you just simply take your name here, this would be r2bkg.jpg, and you just put mobile underscore in front of it and it'll automatically flip it out for you, as long as you name it the original name as the image and you put mobile underscore in front. So then we get down here and we've got the footer, and here's your module. This is your basic default module. You can go ahead and change the background color, the title background color. You can select an icon. You can have your first word color, your rest of the words color. And here's the typography. This is your body, your page title, your article title, your category title, your H1 through 6, your global link. So you can change all the colors here for your typography there. And then in the CSS3 effects, we use some CSS3 hover effects for the colors and such when you go over the menu to make it fade in nicely. If you don't want to use those, you can just turn that off. We have a page load fade in effect. If we go ahead and turn that on to yes, then the page is going to fade in instead of just refreshing. Let's go here to home and let's watch. Okay, and let's go to page, blog, and let's see it fade in. As you see there, it did a nice little fade in. So then if we went to another page here, you'll see that it fades in. So if you want a fade in effect, you can do that right here. And you can set the time here. We have some responsive animation. If you want things to move around as you pull the screen in for responsive, you can turn the animation on. It's probably best to have it off unless you really want to show your client how cool it is. It's not really needed, but it does give a nice effect. And the component animation, this is for the component area, region 3. You can have it come in, up, down, left, right. Like, let's go ahead and select up. And let's save, and let's take a look at this article here in the component when we refresh this page. As you see, everything slides up then. And that's another neat effect. There are a couple known issues with some browsers, so if the browser doesn't handle CSS3 animations correctly, it might not be a good idea to use it. And then we have our typography settings, and this is where you're going to go ahead and set up your font sizes and your font families. And finally, to the advanced settings, you can have your CSS mode separate files. You can have it all embedded in a single file, or do head embedding. And you can use CSS compression. And this is for the front page components. Like I showed you, we're not using the front page component, so we have it set for no component. Now, if we wanted to go ahead and say all components and hit save, when we go to our home page, we're going to see the component and the Joomla articles. Scroll down, and there they are. So since we don't want to show those on the home page, we're just going to go over here and say no components. And this is to include jQuery and no conflict mode. There's some jQuery that's used in the template, so we have this set to on so it loads jQuery. If you're having some issues with things not displaying and you think it's a jQuery conflict, you can go ahead and turn that on and off, for testing. But if you want to actually use the template as it is right now, we suggest that you have it on.